Good morning, boys and girls, students of Buddhist Sunday School, students of Dhamma class, all youth members, parents and grandparents, and all teachers of Buddhist Sunday School and Dhamma classes. May you all be well, happy, and peaceful. Now, for this presentation, we are going to do another Jataka story with a good moral. The title of the Jataka story is The Clever Son. Now, you have heard a number of Jataka stories before, and this is another interesting and meaningful one. Now, the Jataka tales tell about the previous lives of Siddhartha Gautama. It's a collection of previous birth stories. The important thing is the Dhamma lessons we can learn from these Jataka stories. Now, the slides are in English, the texts are in English, and also in Malay, but the narration will be in English. Now, as usual, we will launch the PowerPoint for you to follow. I will go over the story and do some explanation. And then at the end, we have the most important slide, and that is the slide where you can learn important Dhamma lessons. All right. So now let us show the PowerPoint. But before that, let us check the setup that it is okay. All right. The setup is all right. Now let us launch the PowerPoint. View show. You can see the cover slide. And of course, as I said just now, the clever son, a Jataka tale with a moral. Anak cerdik, kisah Jataka yang bermoral. Now, I will not be reading the Bahasa Malaysia text. You can do that, at your own leisure later on through the YouTube or through the slide share with the PowerPoint. Now here you can see some images, right? This man is digging, right? And also the young boy is digging. Now you'll be wondering what this is all about if you have not heard this Jataka story before. Even if you have heard it, there's still a lot you can learn. So you have to listen attentively and patiently. Now let us go to the next slide, which starts the story. Once upon a time, when Brahmadatta was king of Benares, there was a man named Jataka in a certain village, Kasi. This man supported his wife, his old father, and his only young son. Now, this story happened in the area of Benares. Now, the modern name for Benares, this very, very ancient city, the modern name is Varanasi. You can see a video clip, right? A very interesting city. The second oldest city in the world, right? So that time, there was this king Brahmadatta ruling that province, you can say, or that district, or that area in India. And this story happened in a certain village. The setting is something like this. You can see a village in this area of India. The name of the village, Kasi. Now there was this man who lived with his wife, his old father, and his only son. So a very small family. So that was this family. Now let us see what is to happen. Go on to slide number 3. Wasitaka's wife used to complain to her husband about her old father-in-law. Your father is useless, is old. He only eats and sleeps and is a burden to the family. We must get rid of him. Oh, you know, this wife was not kind. So she could not get along with the old father-in-law. And she would always, complain, quarrel with the father-in-law, the poor old man. Of course, when a person is old, right, he is slower in his movements. He sometimes forgets things. This is natural, isn't it? But the wife was not patient. So she would always nag the husband, complain, telling that, no, his father, useless lah. Tak ada guna punya lah. Hanya makan dan tidur lah. Ini beban kepada keluarga kami lah. So she told the husband must get rid of him. Actually, she had that bad intention of killing him, so that he would not be around in the house already lah. So at first, the husband, that is Wasitaka, of course, he loved the old man also. But then, you have this type of wife always nagging, persistent, giving all the reason. Finally, this man agreed to get rid of his old father. So terrible. Now let's see whether the father died or not lah. Let us go on to the slide number 4 now. Now, slide number 4. Let us read this first. So one morning, Wasitaka got ready his bullock cart. At that time, you don't have motorcycle or cars. So the means of transport, either walking or very common, the bullock cart. So then he helped his old father into the cart. You could see the picture here, the image, right? And then he told the old man, we are going to town. And his young son, was around, and the young son heard this. So he told the father he wanted to go along. But the father did not agree because actually he had other plans. He was not going to town, was lying actually. Let us see. So his young son told the father, Father, I want to go along. I want to go with grandfather and you to town. But the father did not agree. So he called the wife. He shouted to the wife, come and fetch this son or his son back into the home. Right? So you can see a picture to give you a better understanding. Now, so that is what happened. Now let us see the next slide, which is slide number 5. However, the young boy was insistent on going. Young boys or young girls, they can be quite insistent on getting something, So he told the father, no, I must go. And he didn't bother, So the cart was starting to move already. So he quickly went to the back of the bullock cart and climbed up. It was not very high. He climbed into the bullock cart and then sat near his grandfather and seated himself near to his grandfather. Then he did not move. He did not want to move. So what happened? Wasitaka, that means the father of the young boy, had no choice but to bring his son along. So 3 of them travel a distance, maybe a few kilometers, right? And then, it was not the town that they reached. They arrived at the graveyard area. The graveyard, imagine that. Now, let us see what is to happen. Let us go on to slide number 6. So when they reached the graveyard area, Jataka, that means the father of this young boy lah, then told his son to wait with his grandfather in the cart and say, you, little boy, wait with your grandfather in the bullock cart. I'm going to go a certain distance away. Right? He did not tell the young boy what he was going to do, but I will be back soon already. So with that, he got something from the bullock cart. He already prepared the tools to bring along. And he was going to do something very terrible, sangat dahsyat. And then he left. He left, and then, the bullock cart was stationary just at that area near the graveyard. So the boy waited with the grandfather, the old man, old, so just sat there patiently, and waited. But the young boy was getting restless. So he said, what happened to father so long already? And he decided to go and find his father. He decided to go and find his father. So what did this young boy do? So let us go to slide number 7. So the young boy got down from the bullock cart and then went searching. The father had not gone very far actually. Perhaps maybe 20, 30 or 40 meters at most. Right? So the young boy soon found his father a short distance away. His father did not realize that he was looking at him. So the young boy was shocked at what he saw. He was very, very shocked when he saw that the father was digging with a hole. A hole means a changkol like that lah. Digging, So he asked his father, what are you doing, father? Why are you digging with the hole? That's why are you digging with the changkol? Of course, the father did not want to reveal the actual reason, isn't it? So he just kept quiet. He did not want to answer. He was reluctant. The father was reluctant to answer his son. But of course, the young boy was very, very curious. Why? Why should he be digging on his own? Not letting us know. So the young boy was a smart one. He was a Bodhisattva actually. A Buddha to be. So let us see what happened. So let us go to slide number 8 now. Okay, slide number 8 now. So the young boy, noticing that the father was keeping silent, kept on asking the same question. And he insisted on an answer. Father, what are you doing? Why are you digging a grave? So he kept on asking. So the father at last had to tell the answer. So the father thought he could explain to the son so that the son could accept. So the father at last had to answer. I'm digging a grave for your grandfather in order to bury him. That was what the father told the young boy, his young son. I'm digging a grave for your grandfather in order to bury him. The young son was shocked when he heard the father's words. No, young people can be very smart and they know how to think. And they have goodness in their young, innocent hearts and minds, So it was very, very shocked, So then what happened? So let us go on to the next slide. Okay. Number 9 now. So when he heard this, he shouted loudly, but grandfather is not dead yet. Grandfather is not dead yet. Why are you digging the grave to bury him? So the father had no choice but to explain the reason. Son, he said, your grandfather is getting very old. Your mother has been pestering me to get rid of him. She said, the old man is a burden to the family. So actually, he told the son the truth now lah. It's true. It was true that his wife was nagging him, pestering him until he couldn't tahan. He had to agree lah. You know, many husbands who listen to their wives' words lah. Otherwise, the husband might get into trouble lah. So he agreed, agreed to get rid of the old father. And the wife told him of a plan, how to get rid of her old father-in-law, to get rid of the old man, to think of a way. I know she would say, the robbers had come, people to ask, right? The robbers killed the man, all sorts of lies. But actually it was to kill off the old man. To her, the old man was a burden, was a real great weight to carry at home. She was not happy having him, impatient with the old person, slower, and then sometimes, not so clean, sometimes forgetting things. And these are quite common things among old people. So did the old man die or not? So how? So this young boy started to think. He was wise. He was compassionate, So let us look at slide number 10 now. So upon hearing this, the young boy asked the father. The father actually had dug quite a big hole already, big enough to bury the old man. So he had more or less finished his task already. So when this young boy heard what the father said about burying his grandfather, so he just asked the father, Father, can I borrow the changkol from you for a while? I just want to hold it lah. He did not tell the father what he was going to do. And the father, in order to please the son, say, okay lah, be careful lah with the changkol lah. Be careful with it. So he gave the young boy the changkol lah. After the father had given him the changkol, so what did the boy do? He just walked away from his father, not very far lah, but hidden from the father lah. That area, you would have some rocks lah, or maybe even some shrubs or bushes or some trees lah. Anyway, he walked a few meters away, hidden from the father. So the father just waited for a while lah. Just waited for a while. Then what happened? Let us go on to slide number 11 now. But inside his mind was Jataka, that means the father of the young boy, was wondering what his son was up to. What did he want the changkol for? Was he looking for something to changkol and get some earthworms? So after a little while, maybe just a few minutes, right? So he knew that he had to go to search for the son in case the son got into trouble, isn't it? Yeah, after all, finished his task of digging the big hole to bury afterwards the old man, his old father lah. So he went very easily. He could find the son. And he was shocked when he saw the son doing something. The son actually was using the jangkol and digging a hole, just like what the father had done. What are you doing, son? He asked. And the son replied, I am digging a grave for you, father, so that when you become old, I can bring you here and bury you lah. Oh, the son said these words to the father, Wasitaka. Wow, it was very, very shocking, right? So, what happened next? So, let us move to slide number 12 now. Wow, Wasitaka, the father of this young boy, was shocked at his son's words. Of course, he grew angry. He was furious. That was his initial reaction, hearing the words from the son. So he scolded the son. This is just actually a modern cartoon strip. He scolded the son, How could you become so cruel and do this to me, son? So he started to give the son a shelling. Very, very bad, son. I'm not dead yet. And now you are going to bury me later. Then the son very, very calmly replied, but that was what you did, father. You said you were digging a grave to bury grandfather because he is old. I'm just following what you did. Is this a family tradition? Wow, very, very smart. The boy said very clearly, not shouting, but very politely. He was telling the father he was just following what the father did just now, digging a big hole and telling the son that he will be burying the old man because he was old and useless already. So the son said, I follow you. I follow what you did, father. Is this a tradition? Is it a thing that the family, all maybe many generations ago also kept doing this sort of thing? Actually, the Buddhist son was very wise, compassionate, and smart. He wanted to change his father into good ways, right? So he had to tell something very, very meaningful and logical, isn't it? So when the father heard what the son said, his temper went down. He was not angry anymore. His heart was touched at what the young boy said. Now let us go on to number 13 now. So when Wasitaka heard the young son saying those words, he realized in his heart and mind already all the terrible things he had been doing. Listening to the wife who was uttering bad words, complaining and so on. And he just told the lie and agreed to do that terrible action of getting rid of his father. So of course, all those thoughts ran across his mind. So he was thinking of what the father had done for him, very grateful, filial piety. So, he also like shed some tears already. He realized he's wrong already. So he hugged his young son and said, son, you have saved me from committing a terrible and evil crime. Come, let us go to your grandfather and bring him home safely. So he told the son. He was very, very touched already. Such a wise son, right? So he said, because of what you said, I realized the wrong that I have been doing and am also doing now and will be doing again when I kill off the old man, So this father, wow, very, very strong feelings, you see. I really am grateful to you, son, because what you say prevented me from committing this terrible, actually it's a murder really, a crime, an action that has bad karma, So say, come. So of course he did not want to carry out the plan already. So they come, let us go back to the bullock cart, and then we would fetch your grandfather home safely. Right? So he was a changed person already in a way. So let us now go on to slide number 14. So they travel, Jataka, his old father and his young son travel in the bullock cart, and before long they reached home. So the wife was waiting, wondering whether he had carried out the plan and had killed off the old man. So she was surprised to see the old man coming back. But then Wasitaka told his wife all that had happened and why he brought the old father back. So when the wife heard about what the wise son did to teach both of them this very important life lesson, wow, she was also touched in the heart. She realized already all the terrible things, that she had done all along in treating her father-in-law, the old man, in treating the old man so badly. She was grumpy, she was not patient, and she treated the old man very poorly, not respectful, and then very harsh words used upon the old man, and then also did not serve him properly, the food and all those things that we should do out of kindness and compassion to old people who really are in need of help, isn't it? So she realized all the wrong things already. And that is something good, isn't it? A person can change. So she made that determination, that resolution that I will become a good person. So from that day onward, she became a very good, virtuous woman. A very good wife to the husband, a very good mother to the son, and also a very good daughter-in-law to the old man. So because now she had kindness, compassion arising in the mind, and also wisdom, so with the understanding, all four live very happily in the family, a very happy family, until of course one day would come when the old man, right, getting older, a day would come very naturally, he will pass away, a natural death, and not being killed off and murdered. So we have this very important food for thought for you. Where there is love, kindness, and understanding, there is a happy family. Now you find very often you have lots of troubles and quarrels, conflicts in a family because of a lack of love, metta, a lack of kindness, being kind, a lack of understanding and wisdom. Be able to forgive, be able to think wisely, then you find that family will be a peaceful and happy family. And for that, actually, everybody in the family must have Dhamma learning and practice Dhamma. But today is sad to say, so many conflicts, problems, trouble in the family, divorce rates are going up. family broken down. So many children come from broken homes because of father, mother quarreling, grandparents quarreling with the younger generation. The younger generation cannot tahan, cannot get along with the old people, and all those problems because basically due to a lack of metta, loving kindness, a lack of compassion, lack of understanding and wisdom. After you see the important Dharma lessons that we can learn. So you see this, I could not find an animated image with 4 people dancing, So I had to do one by one. I got a picture, animated figure representing the father, and then the wife, and then the young boy, and of course the grandfather. This is just to illustrate, to let you have the feeling. So you see, all very happy family dancing away. This is a modern setting. But it's just to convey the very important Dhamma lesson. So now we are going to the final, most important slide. And this is the slide. Dhamma lessons to learn, the most important slide, as I say, because you have important Dhamma lessons to learn. And these Dhamma lessons are not only for young people, for all people. Young people, children, Buddhist youths, all youths actually, and all people. These are very important. And sometimes you find you never learn all these things in school. In school, students now concentrate on academic matters and how to get as many A's as possible. But many important things of morality, ethics, and life lessons are not taught or emphasized. And this will lead to lots of trouble, conflicts, a lot of suffering, as you can see today. So let us look at the pelajaran Dhamma untuk dipelajari. Right? Now let us look at the first one. What is the first Dhamma lesson? Very, very simple. It's in both English and Malay. But I'm concentrating on the English words and the explanation also in English. We must always be grateful to our parents. Now, I think you have heard of filial piety. Our parents have brought us up, and the mother, as you know, gone through real suffering, carrying the baby for 9 months, And to deliver the baby is the most painful process. And then imagine, the time and trouble spent to bring up the baby, from the baby stage to a child that needs to have education already, preschooler, primary schooler, secondary, then later on also going to college. Wow, so many years of hardship and suffering of the parents. Of course, the father also had to work hard to earn the money to support the children. So the parents love the children. They will do all sorts of things to make sure that the children are successful and will be able to lead a successful life. But how many young people think of this? Today, you can see how so many young people treat their parents. They only look at negative things. Say, this is so dirty already. This one, so absent-minded. And then also, so forgetful, absent-minded. And then also sometimes talk nonsense. Of course, when the person gets old, things change. He or the old person may fall sick more easily. Then may also not be able to think so fast or so clearly And then we have some of the old habits, and then they maybe do not take care of their hygiene so well. All these are quite common things. So we have to understand this. That's the nature of aging, and sickness comes in and so on. So when we reflect on what the parents have done for us, then we'll be patient. There will be love and compassion and understanding. So we have this patience, understanding, tolerance. So we bear with those things peacefully, because one day you too will become old. And when you become old, you might be even worse than your old grandfather and grandmother now, So when we reflect like this, we must always be grateful to our parents for all the contributions and the good things they have done for us. But sad to say, you know of so many sending their old parents just to the old folks home and hardly would visit them also. Very, very busy, enjoying the life, very, very busy with their work, their jobs, to make more and more money, to buy big houses, a big car for the wives, for their children, and forget about the old people. One day, you might get the same thing that will cause you much dukkha. So that is this very important lesson about gratitude to parents. The Buddha talked about this in his teachings also. Now let us now go on to the next important Dhamma lesson. Do not have cruel thoughts or use cruel words or do cruel deeds. That is something terrible. You can do bad things in three ways, and likewise also good things also. But now this is about the bad things. You see, all things start from the mind. So you have the wrong view and also the wrong thought, then you find the negative consequences and results will come later. The vipaka, because you are committing bad karma. I have mentioned many times already. Good begets good, bad begets bad. So if a person has these very, very terrible bad thoughts, evil thoughts, cruel thoughts, like for example, very, very strong greed in the mind, wanting this, wanting that type of thinking, covetousness, greed. And it can propel you to do wrong things like stealing, cheating, lying, even killing somebody because you are greedy for maybe money or the possessions of other people. So that's the first thing. Right? And then you see you have thoughts of unwholesome desires, sensual desires. Wow, you see something so beautiful and you are obsessed, you want that, Maybe later on you grow up, you see, wow, beautiful girl or a handsome boy, and you want the thing so much, or you want the person so much rather, right? So you may even do terrible things in order to get the person. So the greed and covetousness is considered a very, very terrible thought. Then, of course, if you have thoughts of anger, ill will, hatred, just like this man's wife, was Jataka's wife, she had cruel thoughts, which means she was not kind, right? She was full of ill will, hatred even, and then also thinking of herself, selfishness only, no compassion. The opposite would be the good thoughts of kindness and compassion, so she did not have this. And then you find these bad thoughts manifest out in the terrible speech, lying, talking bad about other people, slander, using very terrible, rough and harsh words, and then useless talk, empty talk. And in this case particularly, she probably would have used terrible, harsh words on the old man. When the old man maybe was a bit slow in coming for the food or whatever, she would shout like, "Hey, you old man, so slow, stupid fella," and all the harsh words. No, of course, these harsh words will hurt the heart of a person, isn't it? And then probably she would also lie to tell the husband, wow, complain, about, this old man, stole her things lah, and then say bad words also lah, this and that. All lying also can come to tell bad also about the old man. So you see, all the wrong words. And then the final thing is to do the wrong things, action. So in this case here, she might sometimes even pinch the old man, right? So she might do certain things using the body. But in this case, she actually chuchok the husband to ask the husband to do that wrong action of actually killing, murdering already. So we have to be careful of our thoughts, all right? So when bad thoughts come to the mind, we must be careful. Get rid of those bad thoughts, thoughts of greed, the thoughts of ill will, anger, hatred, jealousy, aversion. All these must get rid of. Watch those things and tell yourself, very bad, right? Get rid of them. Otherwise, you will be facing a lot of suffering later on. That's how we train the mind. And of course, you have to watch your speech to know what you are speaking, to think before you speak. And then don't speak, then only start thinking and regretting what you say, isn't it? So there's a very important Dhamma lesson. And of course, make sure that you don't do any of the unwholesome actions involving the body, like killing, stealing, taking what is not given, and committing sexual misconduct. This one maybe for children, maybe they don't. But now, even standard 6 and Form 1, all these, they do very unwholesome things, like, disturbing girls, the young boys disturbing the girls, go and touch, and some even go and kiss, Last time in our association, there was this case, right? There was this young boy, Form 5, Form 6, in the library on duty, in our association. And there were these two standard 6 girls went to molest the young librarian, lower 6, I think. And they kissed him also. That is not the proper action, isn't it? So using the body, you can do the wrong things. So you have these actions you must not do. No killing, as I said, no stealing, and no sexual misconduct. For adults and married ones, of course, you must not commit zina lah, taking other people's wives or taking other people's husband, adultery lah. Now let us look at the third Dhamma lesson, which is very important. Show respect, kindness, and compassion to your parents and also to all the elders. And today, sad to say, is very, very lacking. Many people of the younger generation do not practice this. And if you don't practice this later on, you also will be faced with situations that will cause you much suffering. People don't respect you. They don't show kindness to you. So it's what goes around comes around, comes back to you, you see. You see now, you have heard of even students slapping the teachers, hitting the teachers. Of course, you might have teachers that maybe do certain things which are not so proper, but that is not the way to handle, isn't it? Maybe you can lodge a complaint to the headmaster or whatever and so on. But generally, we have also to respect all elders, see the good things of people, teachers who have taught you, the parents who have brought you up so well and provided you with all sorts of things, and also luxury, and also your grandparents, your relatives, your good friends in the Sundays, the good teachers in the Sunday school, the uncles and aunties that prepare food for you in the Sunday school. Have respect. But today it's sad to say, as I said just now, lacking in respect and basic courtesy and manners, I know I've encountered this. I've taught for more than 30, 40 years. I could see the downslide because people have become more materialistic, only placing importance on money, position, fame, and all those things. Right? So they do not wish even the teachers when they come face to face with them, Sometimes it will be the teachers that wish them first, and then you need to be kind to the old people to help them. I was very touched when I once went on a travel with a friend who brought the son along. And he was very, very respectful, very compassionate, even helped me and say, brother, I think you might have some problems climbing up the steps. So let me help you. Wow, very rare to find this sort of children. Now mostly influenced by the media, they become more self-centered and so on. So that's what the Sunday school aims to do, to change the bad conduct, to implant virtues and values. And that's what I try to do in my postings, all the postings for all sorts of people, from the young to the old, hoping that they gradually, if they are patient to learn this, they will have a transformation, they will change for the better. That is important. Finally, that's what is the most important thing. All other things are when we pass away, we cannot bring along with you, but we bring along with us our good mind states, our good karma. So remember these three things: having respect, not only to, and then kindness, compassion to the parents, and then I told you already, teachers, grandparents, relatives, and even and also don't forget the monks and nuns, people who are practicing well. But I'm very surprised that many don't even know the basic things. They come into contact with the monk or the nuns and they look blankly without even showing respect of holding the palm, so I call the Anjali position, or just say good morning or reverend or something like that. Basic manners all none. So that is terrible, isn't it? So later on, how are you going to bring out your children when you don't show the good examples? Examples are very important. And these good habits, good qualities have to be nurtured, have to be cultivated from the time you are young. And not wait until you are old and when I find that very difficult to change already, just like an old branch, very hard to bend already. It's only when you have a young shoot, right? Young still, you can bend another to change. So you need to think about this and things will go well in your life. You'll be having greater happiness and peace. And when there is greater happiness and peace, there will be greater success. Happiness comes first, and then success. But happiness is not just obtained by learning all the things that the teachers teach you. Of course, those help to earn a living and so on. But there are very, very important life lessons. To sum up, the most important thing we have to learn actually is the Dharma. Because these good Dhamma lessons or teachings of the Buddha that we learn will carry on from life to life. Not only do they help us in this life, but they also will give us better future rebirths. So you go up and up until one day you become enlightened. And those are the important lessons. So today we are concentrating on 4 Dhamma lessons. Right? Now let us now go on to the 4th one. Now, I want you to think carefully of the first point of gratitude. In fact, the Buddha said, in one of the scriptural verses, actually is you call it the Anguttara Nikaya, the book of twos. The Buddha said two types of people very hard to find. The first type would be the people who very naturally, spontaneously would come and do a good action. To be a volunteer, no need to ask. They have goodness in the heart and they will do the dana, they will do the service, the help, Very hard to find such people. In fact, so many you call them to volunteer, so they don't want, let alone of their own hearts. I could see this when we started 1980 something to run the community library 7 days a week. I was coordinating and taking charge. We could get 60 student volunteers, Then for how many years already? I think for about maybe more than 10 years already. Could not even get one volunteer. So we had to get the adult to give them an allowance to run the library. So you see now the downward trend. So sometimes, you ask them, why you say, no time lah, a lot of tuition lah, so many things to see. I got YouTube, I got smartphone, I got Facebook, all those things. So that's the first type of people, very difficult to find. Good, kind people who can do things which are kind without having to be asked even. And the second type of people, the Buddha said, very difficult to find in this world is people who are grateful. This is very true. Not only gratitude towards the parents, but also gratitude to all who have helped you. So they do not express their gratitude. This is the reality from my experience. So we are just trying to teach you important life lessons. Now let us go on to number 4, which is the 4th Dhamma lesson. This is one that sums up all things. It's actually from Confucius. Remember, Confucius lived a few thousand of years ago, probably maybe around the time of the Buddha, or very, very close to that era. Very, very great philosopher and also a thinker. So in China, I think very important Confucian ethics, the good things that Confucius taught. But sad to say today, many do not follow so many important Confucian teachings, which has Dharma actually. Many good things. Of course, there are some that may not be applicable in the modern world, but by and large are very, very many good things. So we must know to take all those wise good things and follow them. And this is one that sums up all the things. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Very, very simple principle, but very important. If you do something bad to people, or you carry out wrongful actions, wrong actions, unwholesome actions, then these bad things will happen to you. Just as you don't like people to hurt you, people to kill you, so would you kill and hurt other people or other beings, living beings? You also don't want, isn't it? So you just have to think. So people don't follow this. Some may escape in this life, but when rebirth takes place, like for example, a person who always tortures, and kills other beings, then if he doesn't get caught by the law, get jailed, life imprisonment, or even to be hanged and so on, he cannot escape the law of karma. So in the future life, he will suffer. He will get rebirth into a suffering state. And if he were to be reborn as a human being, maybe he got some good karma, he would have a short life because he killed. And likewise, so you don't want people to steal things from you, people to cheat you. So likewise also, you should not steal from others, take what is not given, or rob people. So it's just this very basic natural law. You do this thing bad, the bad comes upon you. This life and also future lives. So, and then also, let's say you use terrible words, you tell lies, or use harsh speech, slander, and all those things. People also will lie to you. People also will abuse you, scold you, criticize you, complain against you, condemn you, curse you. Why? There is maybe a karmic link. You might have done it earlier, or sometimes it's traced to past lives. Right? Past lives, you can have this thing coming out, the Vipaka. So you see, it's very, very true. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If you are kind to people, you have metta, loving kindness, you show compassion, then you find those good acts will have their rewards. You don't have to go and search and ask for the rewards. It's natural. Like if you practice metta bhavana, there are 11 benefits as the Buddha taught. I learned it maybe 30, 40 years ago, and I practice, and I find really true. I can check for myself. I don't have to just say, believe, I don't have to just believe blindly. I try out and practice, and you find really true. So therefore, you have to practice the good things like dana, for example, giving. Then we'll cut our ego, our selfishness, and you find a lot of problems of the mind, including the psychiatric illnesses, are due to this thing of the self. I, me, my, this is my work, this is my possession, these things are mine, right? I want this. Why are people saying this about me? So everything centered on I, me, mine. This is a root cause of dukkha. If you think more of other people, that's why we practice dana, to cut the self and the ego. Then you find slowly, gradually, the peace and the joy will arise in you. Then you have happiness and success. So the good things you do, they come back. Sometimes many fold. You just help a little bit, but you see the rewards, they come. You have to be patient. And then also must not have that expectation. Oh, I do this. I help you, So next time you must help me, give me this. That one is also selfish or motivated by the self, wanting this, wanting that. You just do it because it is good. And the rewards will come naturally. You don't have to ask. So this is a very, very important statement of wisdom. Originally it was from Confucius, but many others have said it in different ways already. Do good, good comes to you. Do bad, bad comes to you. What goes around comes around, right? You do something that is unwholesome, evil, or bad, that thing will hit back to you when you suffer the consequences or the results. So remember this very, very important principle. Number 4, I would say, in a way, sums up all the things that I have talked about. Right? So like, people, they of course want to have a long life. They want to have wealth, right? They want to be healthy, isn't it? They want to have, maybe fame. You don't get all those things by just praying, pray and pray, you can get. Everybody can get these things by just praying. Then no need to do anything, just pray many, many times. Then we get the wealth, we get the health, we get the fame, we get a long life. Cannot. So to get those things, you have to put in the positive actions. Right? Long life, you must make sure you don't kill, you don't torture people. And then also to have compassion. You want wealth, make sure you help other people, not so selfish and so on. And then you want to be beautiful. You think you pray, your face can turn to one of great beauty. You are egoistic, the face may be a very proud person. You be mindful. You don't get angry, very gentle, good temper. Your face also shows up not in the future lives, in the present life, because you have metta. You don't get angry easily and all those things. So I've spoken for almost more than an hour slightly. So we need to conclude this presentation. So before we say sadhu 3 times, so I would like to say thank you and sadhu to all the students and also the students in the Buddhist Sunday School of PBHP, all the Dhamma class students, the parents and grandparents, and also all teachers of Dhamma and moral education. I say thank you to all of you for taking the time to follow this presentation with patience and mindfulness. So let us put our palms together and say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May you all be well, happy, and peaceful. And may the Dhamma be with all of you always. Take care.